channel.
Hey, you know what time it is, No Press fam? Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you guys can do. You can share, you can like, or you can subscribe to our channel. When you guys subscribe to our channel, you know what you do. You guys are building our empire and allowing us to provide you guys with even much more greater content for you guys to enjoy. And without further ado, today's episode, we're going to have two characters from hell go and battling it out. So this one should be an interesting one. And I'll be representing DC Comics' own Etrigan. Alright, so now let's get into the brief origin story of Etrigan, shall we? I do want to apologize if I am saying his name wrong to certain people. Certain people say it a certain way. This is how I say it, Etrigan. Might be Etrigan, but I'm saying Etrigan or Etrigan. Etrigan. I'm just going to go with Etrigan. Alright. Merlin and Camelot were under attack by a powerful sorcerer named Morgan Le Fay, who was after Merlin's Eternity Book. As he was feeling like he wasn't going to win this one, he pulled out one more trick up his sleeve and summoned Etrigan from the fires of hell to defend Camelot. Before it crumbled, Merlin asked Etrigan to guard the Eternity Book with his life, which the demon agreed, and when Camelot fell, Morgan flees with her army, and left in the rubble was the demon. Eventually would begin in time to turn human and forget the demon he once was until the moment again would arise when he was needed again. And that is a brief origin story of Etrigan. Alright, now let's get into Bath, shall we? Alright, here are his feats. According to Ivan the Unstoppable, okay, he fought top tier level characters. Let's start with this one. Superman, yeah. Lobo, the Phantom Stranger, and Wonder Woman, yeah. He crushes guns with his bare hands, even can chew up guns with his mouth, his teeth. Okay, he can travel vast distance, flame that can purify the soul, took out a giant like dragon from the inside using his fire blast, throwing a car like it was a toy car, torn into two. He can still fight. Yeah, he can replace his limbs with other body parts that didn't belong to him. Fought warriors of Limbo, fought a general of heaven, destroyed some angels, consumed a troll, defeated Merlin, scorched the ground. Scorched the ground. I said that right. He enjoys pain, and he defeated werewolves by using energy projection. Was named the King of Hell and held the crown of Scorn as his prize. Defeated the demon Balong, who happens to be his father. Finished him by ripping his giant heart out and then carrying his body over to the fire pits and tossing it further down below. Defeated Morgan Le Fay. Broke through Alan Scott's Green Lantern's construct. Opened portals to magic dimensions. Summoned creatures, placing spells on technology. He can smell evil. Counteract spells turning into stones, and he can turn himself back into from let's say somebody is trying to turn him into a stone, he can turn himself back from that stone. He can reverse it during the time it's happening to him. Yeah, that's saying something. Sent Superman back in time. He one time hit Superman so hard he sent him to the moon, so we are clear on that. Spectre / Calypso, like they were merged together, smacked Etrigan, and Etrigan still was able to take it like a champ. Etrigan was one of the fifth of the power to destroy an entire universe. He was 1/5 of the power to destroy an entire universe. That's one heck of a flex. Alright, so now let's get into the end game, shall we? So, for one thing, Etrigan's a pretty savage guy. He's fought top tier level characters, I believe more than Johnny has. So I do believe in a fight, like when it comes to throwing down, he's going to hit him harder. Because he's fought characters like Superman, Wonder Woman, I mean, he's fought really top tier characters with massive amounts of strength. He's fought Lobo, so he's proven time and time when it comes to fist fight, you can't really just beat him. And Johnny, it's not always the case. He doesn't use his strength. He usually uses some of his other elements in order to help him gain an upper hand against his opponents in a fight. Now, another thing is that Etrigan could just remove Johnny's soul out of the avatar itself, out of Zerazos. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He could probably just remove him off of that if he wanted to. If he eliminates Johnny, maybe, you know, that Zerazos goes back to where Mephisto is, and that's a game loss right there. Another thing is that Etrigan's power, his Hell Flame, can actually do some damage to Zerazos. So even if Zerazos is pretty strong, Zerazos is trapped in Johnny's body, so he's not able to pull his full might out. But imagine getting inflicted without being able to use the full might to fight back. That's going to say something. So Etrigan's all him. It's not like he's gaining his powers with the avatar he's in, like the guy he's in. No, with Jason Blood, no, he's not getting anything out of that. But with his own power, he's like almost unlimited. So I do believe that Etrigan's power is a full might compared to Johnny's power. So he could do some damage to him with the Hellfire. May not do some damage to Johnny, might just do damage only to Zerazos. Sorry, tongue twister. All right, so let's make a few other points. So because there's not a lot you can say. Between the two, they both have some impressive amount of flex powers. They both can throw down. They're pretty damn strong and durable. They can regenerate certain parts of their bodies or replace them. So they're pretty tough to defeat. So it's not going to be just the traditional fist to fist, who's throwing more fire at who. But keep to mind, Etrigan's Hellfire might do a much more severe damage to Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider does feel effects to Hellfire blasts, and I do believe Etrigan throwing that might at you is going to do something. But here's the one other thing I'll add to the special ingredients to how Etrigan will defeat Ghost Rider, and I think the way he would do it is combining magic with technology. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, let's start off with the fact that Etrigan's obviously a lot more knowledgeable in magic spells bounding compared to Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider doesn't really dabble in that as much, but with Etrigan, that's not really the story. He usually uses magical spells at certain times when he needs it to his favor when he needs it. And he doesn't only just have strength and fire and he can throw down, and he loves pain. He can also create spells using technology. Like our technology, he can combine his magical spell elements to it. So there was a case in point in the comics where that happened. So I do believe that Etrigan could use a magic spell, because he's obviously more vast knowledge than Ghost Rider, use it in some way to make some kind of tech magical bomb that could do some damage to Ghost Rider, or maybe even use a tech magic spellbound chamber that can trap Ghost Rider or separate Ghost Rider's soul from Zerazos. There is that possibility, because Zerazos needs a host in order to be able to stay in the realm. Otherwise, I'm guessing he just goes automatically back to Mephisto, and then Mephisto just traps him in something else. But other than that, it's still a win-win regardless. But Etrigan, again, magic and technology is going to be his upper advantage against Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider, he can transform a bike into, a super fast bike, but it's not more impressive than Etrigan's spellbounding abilities, where he can make a missile and create spells around it that can make it even extra stronger, or counteract it, or turn it off, or make it something even much more different than it is, maybe even 10 times powerful. Etrigan just has a lot of magical elements to his favor when it comes to spellbounds, which will help him get the upper hand if he wants to at a moment's notice. As long as he's on Earth, as long as he's around technology, and as long as he's got the magic in his side, he can always just cast a spell, use that tech to his advantage, overpower Ghost Rider at some point during the fight, claim that W, and win this, and be the man or the demon. Yeah. Shout out to Comicstorian on YouTube for the background video. We're not working together, but I like to give credit where credit is due. So check out his channel to hear comic stories come to life through amazing visual editing and stunning performing voice acting you gotta see for yourself. Show some love and support the channel as well. I'll be representing Marvel Comics' own Johnny Blaze, aka Ghost Rider. Alright, so now let's get into the brief origin story of Johnny Blaze, aka Ghost Rider, shall we? Johnny Blaze was a young man when he lost his father performing a motorcycle stunt that didn't go well. Crash Simpson was the owner of the circus Johnny's father worked for, and decided to adopt Johnny as one of his own. Johnny saw Crash as his second father, so when he heard Crash is dying from cancer, he took it upon himself to do whatever it takes to save his second dad. And he did just that, summoning Mephisto to strike a bargain. Mephisto spares Crash's life from cancer, and in exchange, he would do as he wished. So pretty much the exchange was this: look, you spare my dad from cancer, and I'll do whatever you want. And Mephisto said, all right, I'll take the deal. So Mephisto was a trickster and did cure Crash of his cancer, but didn't mean Crash would live. As one night, Crash dies performing a stunt, leaving Johnny with a giant jip of a tab. So Mephisto came, and he declared Johnny would be his emissary in the dark, and in the light join him in Hades, and then merged Therathos' body with Johnny's to create the Ghost Rider. And that's a brief origin story of Johnny Blaze, aka the Ghost Rider. Alright, BAF. Let's get into it, guys. So, according to Ivan the Unstoppable, he can fire explosions, can absorb flames, has some knowledge of magic, can get his head blown off and then regenerate it, outrun Mjolnir, can make fire missiles. Yeah, took down Spider-Man, melted tanks, leveled theme parks and mountains. He made it rain hellfire. Yeah. Flame that can hurt your soul, defeated the Hulk, hurt Doctor Doom's armor, blast a hole into Lucifer, fight the entire Avengers, Thor, Captain America, that included Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. Doctor Strange couldn't enter his mind. There has been a divinity in holy weapons for them to work on him. So they have to be divinity in order for the holy weapon to work on Ghost Rider. He penned and stared Dr. Voodoo and Doctor Strange and so much more. He tossed a steel door. He can grow in size. Rogue wasn't able to consume his power. Zarathos fought Mephisto. So this is the ultimate flex. With Ghost Rider separated from his body, if it wasn't with Johnny Blaze and it was just Zarathos, Zarathos can go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano with Mephisto, and almost won at one point during a fight, one of their encounters. He fought Thor. This one's an interesting one. Null, the Living Darkness, not Null, the King of the Symbiotes, but the other Null. It's Null. It's a Living Darkness. It was capable of fighting and throwing down with Hyperion, the Hulk, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and more. The reason we mention this is because Ghost Rider was able to fight that Living Darkness fist to fist and defeat it. So that's the ultimate flex when we consider the BAF. Alright, now let's get into the end game. A few arguments to be made on Johnny Blaze, aka Ghost Rider. We're just going to call him Ghost Rider at this point, because obviously that's his actual character's name, against Etrigan. So, let's start off with Etrigan. It has some severe weaknesses to certain holy, weapons, crucifix and all that stuff. So, I don't know if the exact details are the same argument to be made. When I was talking about Ghost Rider, you needed it to be a divinity weapon in order to hurt him. I don't think the same could be applied to Etrigan. I think it just needs to be a crucifix or something, a holy weapon, not designed by a godly weapon, but designed by someone of the holy department to create it and then use that to attack him. So I do believe his weaknesses are maybe regular holy water or a cross and stuff like that, maybe going into a church, compared to Ghost Rider, who has to have a significant more amount of holy magic in order to hurt and do some damage to him. And now another thing is, yes, Etrigan is pretty strong. He's fought some pretty top tier characters, Superman, Lobo, all that stuff. But if we want to make that argument, I do believe it would be a standstill, because when you think about Ghost Rider's ability to fight the Living Darkness, Null, who has fought Hyperion, who's a top tier character, Doctor Strange, all these other characters, Silver Surfer is a cosmic threat or a cosmic character, all these characters that he has fought, the Living Darkness was able to put him down. So for Ghost Rider to be able to defeat something that defeated an entire team, is saying something. So I do believe he can hold his own against Etrigan. It wouldn't be that easy to just toss him around. Alright, another thing is I do believe Ghost Rider is going to be a little more faster than Etrigan, so dodging, bobbing, and weaving might be more in his specialty compared to Etrigan. Another thing I'll say is the pen and stare. The pen and stare has got to be something you got to add into the fight. You're probably thinking, oh, well, Etrigan doesn't care what damages he does because he always, you know, he's a demon. That's true, but you forget there's something inside that demon who happens to be Jason Blood. Now, if Jason Blood happens to be given the pen and stare where he has to witness his own like doing of being Etrigan and all the things he's done with him being there on the wheel, he might reverse back into his human form and then just let Ghost Rider finish him off. Maybe he'd even let Ghost Rider use some kind of spell in order to reverse him back so he can just end him as a normal human form. There's that possibility, and then Etrigan would be over in that type of way. Yeah, I can say that's a very fair assessment. So Ghost Rider takes him to school when it comes to fist. You know, he uses the pen and stare to get Etrigan to turn into his human form so he can end him in that way. There's that argument there. And probably another argument I'll make, and this is a wild card, is releasing the hounds. And what I mean by releasing the hounds, releasing Therathos. Let's say Ghost Rider manages to take Etrigan, or Etrigan decides to take Ghost Rider to hell, you know, or they go to take whoever goes to whichever hell. It doesn't matter, because at that moment Ghost Rider could probably just maybe at that moment release his true form, his true essence from the Avatar, which happens to be Therathos. Therathos is one of the most powerful beings. He fought Mephisto. Etrigan's strong, but something that can fight Mephisto is saying something. It is obviously a top tier, way more top tier. It's probably like right around the Celestials department. So if it's able to fight in that level category, Etrigan's strong, but not strong enough to fight, I believe, to defeat Therathos. So you got the pen and stare to make this guy feel bad. You got the muscle to keep yourself in the fight, and you got this very good wild card in order to really release the biggest top power you have in order to really overwhelm Etrigan in this fight, giving you the victory and claiming this one would be Ghost Rider. As always, no purse fam, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys. So if you guys liked either one of my arguments, you know what you can do. You can either hashtag Etrigan or you can hashtag Ghost Rider. But as always, no purse fam, we really appreciate you guys keeping it 300 subs. Peace.